We are live. Alan Squared coming at you. How the fuck you doing, Alan?
I'm good, sir. A little bit of some tech issues, so I apologize if I run silent for a little bit, but Matrix must be attacking me. We'll see.
It's because you're talking about health and shit. It's because they're starting to recognize that while you have a doctor in front of your name, you are not one of their friends. So,
we're going to get to that in a second, folks.
So the lead topic we were going to talk about today is: are morbidly obese people too fat to lead? Like, me and Alan have a text correspondence going on about things, and one of the things that, I think that we always talked about, like you've talked about this before, like should you listen to a fat doctor? Like it's the same thing as like listening to a morbidly obese weight loss coach. Maybe you shouldn't, like, and the way this came about, we've talked before. Both of us have talked at length about Trump, and I gotta say, like, here's the best part about how I view stuff. Trump's a dude I elected to do a job, a dude I voted for him to do a job. Does that mean that I endorse every single fucking thing he does? Absolutely, goddamn not. And I think he's a fucking. I think his stance on health and fitness is atrocious, even with RFK in there, because it's basically. I don't think that we are seeing this as a big enough problem. The president of the United States is obese, so therefore, what trickles down from there type stuff, right? And again, I know he's an old fat man, plays plenty of golf. Like cardiovascularly, I would bet he's healthy, but he does and sometimes he doesn't even look as he doesn't even look maybe obese. He's overweight, but most of the time he looks like he's got a pretty good beer gut on him. And I don't think it's beer because he supposedly doesn't drink, so he eats his fucking McDonald's ass off. Mm-hmm. But what's your take on that? Are they too obese to lead?
Yeah, it's a fine line. I'll say from personal experience, the folks that I've interacted with or tried to do business with who have been morbidly obese, all those deals have failed. So call that a coincidence, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there's a lot of things behind the scenes that people forget, like just kind of overall work ethic and the amount of energy levels that you have during the day and what you don't see behind a camera, essentially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And a lot of times it really does come to that. And frankly, it goes along with saying that your results and your reputation have a lot more to do with what goes on behind the scenes rather than in front of a camera. But right now we live in an age where everything's on camera and things can be faked and whatnot. We've gotten to the point where we don't appreciate the things that happen behind the scenes and really fully understand what it takes to be at the top and to achieve remarkable things. It takes a lot of effort most of the time.
Right. And I agree with that. Like, I think that the concept is, I would honestly argue that it would depend. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need to be physically fit to be a great military strategist. You don't, but to be, in the military and train people for battle, I believe you do need to be in shape. Like you are leading by example. It's the very same thing as what we brought up earlier: fat doctors and fat weight loss, especially weight loss coaches. That's the thing that amazes me the most for what I do. Yeah. Is listening to these people who are still 300 pounds talking about like they're full on giving advice about how to deal with their binge eating disorder. And there's one girl that always talks about like what I ate a day in binge eating recovery, and she's been 300 pounds for like the last 3 years. Like, you're not recovering from shit, like that's that. But that's where it's at. I think it skews the concept. Like physical fitness used to be seen as a part of being like an all around good, well individual. And now we've really made it so like we're taking advice from like the weakest among us. Mm-hmm. And while the world has changed and everything like that, I would argue that the world really hasn't. Our tools have, and everybody that is so dependent upon the convenience of being able to see a doctor, even getting their medications, all this, it's so much convenience that if all of a sudden we were for some reason blown back, like the economy completely collapsed, or whatever, there would be just a tremendous amount of people who are actually leading people right now. They're actually giving people advice that would not survive due to that they physically cannot take care of themselves. You know, this whole idea where in America now we basically are propping up weakness. Like we are subsidizing weakness. There is a lot of people right now in America that if we did not have shared healthcare benefits, they would not. I argue that they would not be able to afford to eat themselves to the physical state they're in if we did not have shared healthcare expenditure. Because very frankly, the very second that they got sick from a lifestyle driven chronic illness and had to foot the bill all out of their own pocket, that would be massive incentive to reverse your fucking shit, but instead we coddle, right? But I think it's permeated all the way up. Look at Congress. Look at Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham is one of the meekest, physically fucking least intimidating human beings on the goddamn planet.
The one that comes to mind is Chris Christie.
Oh, Chris, yeah, exactly. JB Pritchard. JB Pritchard is, it's fucking crazy. Somebody's told me not to cuss. I got a special note for you. Fuck off. Tell me what to fucking do. Get the fuck out of here. But these people are they lead large cities and states and are circus size fat. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, pull up the picture that you wanted to show of the candidate that we got. That's who's who's saying that we're mean and hateful, calling him fat. It's like, what else did you want us to call you?
This guy's complaint was that people were being hateful and mean for calling him fat.
I mean, I guess what are people saying? I guess that's number one, because sometimes it's not even that bad, and then second of all, I mean,
I don't care how the fuck bad it is at this point. Yeah, look at that shit.
Dang. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So, I mean, you were alluding to, we talk a lot about on both of our shows about how obesity and morbid obesity can really affect daily life. And if you just take that into consideration, how much harder everything is, walking up steps, walking from one block to another, doing simple daily things, fitting in a car, there's so much extra effort being done for such simple things and extra time that's sort of wasted and energy. And how much time and energy do they have left to do the important jobs that they need to do, to make decisions, to delegate, to run their office appropriately? You kind of wonder, how are they doing that? And not only that, I mean, just by looking at him, not knowing anything about his credentials, I don't really care where he went to college. Just by looking at him, you can already tell that there is some sort of lack of discipline, or just an addiction, or something's not right. Up in the head, in some way, shape, or form, that it could get in the way of doing a good job. So that's where I've kind of over time, especially with my own businesses outside of this channel, my own business outside that's sort of where I've come to. I mean, it's not a fat phobic thing. It's not I hate them. It's just that I want to do good business. I want to accomplish a lot of shit. And if there are people, that I'm trying to work with who are getting in my way or holding me back, I'm going to just drop them. So this is, kind of one of those things that, yes, we may be speculating, and there are certain situations where
we're not. No, he eats too much. There's no speculation, bro.
Or I mean, how good of a business partner he might be.
Oh, yeah. Well, I would argue he makes bad decisions. Period. I mean, this type of obesity is there's a mental illness involved with it. Yeah. No doubt. And I'm not saying that you can't be mentally ill and run for Congress. I don't understand why we would elect a mentally ill person. We don't need that kind of representation. This guy's name, by the way, he's a Democrat, Benjamin Shower, and he is running for Iowa State House. And he issued a long statement condemning bullying and arguing that the attacks distract from issues like healthcare, education, and the economy. He should have this man should not speak on fucking healthcare ever. Like ever. But this is also a problem, right? Like this is why we're so diverse. Or not so diverse, but why we're so dichotomous. Yeah. Do you think he's going to vote against universal healthcare ever?
No.
Like, do you think that like a 400-pound person is going to ever vote for more responsibility around their own health? Like these are the problems with these issues, right? The government should not even be in the business of healthcare. Absolutely, should not even be in the business of healthcare. That alone means they're picking winners because they're in the business of healthcare, but they're only recognizing the allopathic healthcare system.
Right.
You know, so just by that, it's discriminatory on basis. You know what I mean? And like this is a perfect example. This guy should not vote on how tax dollars are used for healthcare.
No,
like at all. Like I can't even get over how we are at this stage. Like, do you think that it's the same thing? Like if you're on SNAP benefits, you're not going to vote for SNAP benefits to be taken away. You're going to vote for the government to control you. And that's where we're at. The government controls so many aspects when it's related to our public health that they're going to have people voting the way they want them to vote just because people have become, well, this fucker, this fat sloppy fuck he's so fat and fucking sloppy. How dare he even fucking say anything about anybody saying something to him about his weight? Like, bro, you are not getting nearly what you would get. You know how I know? Because you're still fat as fuck, bro. Like, I mean, how dare you be upset that people call you a tub of fucking lard? Because you look like a tub of fucking lard. I mean, I'm sorry, but like, how dare you? You're upset that people saying mean shit to you. Guess what? You need to hear all the fucking mean shit. Maybe you'll stop being so mean to your motherfucking self. Because that's what he is. I mean, this is self-abuse. And when everybody just coddles it and ass pats it, that's what happens, you know?
Yeah. There's another topic associated with this or tangentially associated with this. The debate on universal suffrage. And especially with the SNAP benefits, folks, if you're taking from the taxpayer, you shouldn't have to vote, or you shouldn't have the privilege to vote. It should be a privilege, not a right. Same thing like driving should be a privilege and whatnot. And we have way too many people who are, like you said, going to vote for the government just having more control over us because they can't control themselves. So, unfortunately, it's probably way too late to roll back on that or to make some kind of an amendment. But that's where we're at, and that's probably how we got here in the first place. That started to multiply, where more people are on benefits, and then we have more people dependent on the government, and then they happen to have a say. It's like having it's like me running a company and having a board. And then having some random guy in the street be able to vote on what happens in our company when he has no fucking clue what's going on in the company. Like, how does that make sense? So that's kind of how I see that issue.
That's a very good summary, because very frankly, like it's what I always talk about it. I'm even writing a book about it, but they want you fat, sick, weak, and dependent. And that's just the truth. Because the reason why they want you fat, sick, weak, and dependent is you will vote against your own self-interest when it comes to your freedom to have safety. A lot of these people know that they're fucked. Like, you cannot be like, no 30-year-old that has diabetes thinks they're doing good, in my mind. Like, I'm sorry, but like, if you've given yourself type 2 diabetes as a 30-year-old, nothing, you are not feeling good about yourself. If you're pre-diabetic, like, pre-diabetes is almost type 2 diabetes is almost 100% of the time self-inflicted. Like, it is a very serious, high percentage of people that self-inflict. It's like 95% of people that have type 2 diabetes, it's from lifestyle choices. Like 90% of it is still reversible. You are not going to do well. That guy, I guarantee you, has some sort of metabolic disorder, because you can look at him and fucking tell he's got some sort of metabolic disorder, right? Metabolic disorders are almost always caused by the person's actions. So instead of changing their actions, just like you said, these people can get subsidized. Because if I can tell you this right now. If insurance was not involved in diabetes, there is no motherfucking way people would be able to afford to be diabetic. None.
Yeah.
Zero.
Yeah, you know what I see that's quite sad. And it's like, especially when Christmas is coming, it's I'm gonna probably see it is teenagers with diabetes.
Yeah.
Teenagers. Think about that one for a second.
It's
That's
insane.
where we're at. Yeah. It's really, really bad. And it just whenever I see a scan and basically the child can't even fit within the boundaries of the gantry on the CT, like that's something needs to be done drastically. And
Yeah, man.
unfortunately, our answer has recently been gastric bypass. That's a thing. Crazy to think about that at that young of an age too, but I mean, that's where we're at.
Well, you broke up a little bit on there, but like you were saying, how gastric bypass, how there's lots of young people with. I can't believe that they're doing gastric bypass to anybody under the age of 18. Like,
yeah, yeah, I couldn't believe it either. There's actually a small little committee in the American College of Surgeons for pediatric gastric bypass. Crazy to think about. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
it's not a benign
insane.
surgery either. Oh yeah, it's not a benign. They go through a lot of gut. They're digging through that stuff and they're cutting and they're doing all sorts of stuff. And you later on in life, you're prone to infections, you're prone to adhesions, you're prone to small bowel obstructions. It's not going to be pretty later on. And they have a whole, supposedly a whole another 30, 40 years plus to have to go through all that. And now they have permanent damage from all that surgery. It's just like, what are we doing? Like, how did we get to this point? Why don't we just, we have to do things way, way earlier than getting to the point where they're, 600 plus pounds. And then we have to do gastric bypass. Like, that's too late.
Well, they're doing gastric bypass at like people that weigh like 200 pounds now and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
Which is completely insane to me too, because I say this a lot about current medical science, or quote unquote science. You are part of the fucking experiment. They have no idea how people are going to do with a gastric bypass surgery after 30 years. You know why? Because they haven't been doing them for 30 fucking years. Like they have no idea how these things are going to affect the body. I have a very hard time believing that when you reduce the absorption area of micro and macronutrients to that degree, that it won't eventually catch up to the person. Because here's the issue: as you get older, and I'm a big believer in this. It's not like I need to believe; it's actual fact. But it's one of the reasons why I'm a believer in a supplement ingredient called Velocitol. It's actually in hydroglyph from Ambrosia, but it helps with your body's absorption of protein. And as you get older, your body does not absorb protein as well, right? Mm. So now you already reach a point where you are basically, your metabolic rate is going to drop just because of, slightly because of age. And by the way, that is a very slight determinant, just for people that understand that. And it's normally hormone driven. So if your hormones are at a normal level, the age number for BMI is irrelevant almost. Mm-hmm. For TDEE, I mean, for TDEE, it's irrelevant basically, because it's the age of hormones, not necessarily the age of your structure, right? Yeah. But when you get older, your hormones take a little bit of a dip. You absorb less. You are less active already, and then you have people that are going to have a massive decrease in absorption area of micro and macronutrients. I'm sorry, but I can't see this but being like, shaving 10, 15 years off of their life expectancy. Now, don't get me wrong. If you were 600 pounds when you were 30, the surgery likely saved some years for you, but it's not like I have a hard time believing we're going to see 90-year-olds with, gastric bypasses, in the future. It just does. It's such a harsh surgery,
Yeah. But it doesn't end there though, is what I'm trying to say. Like there's going to be complications like way down the road, just because they've been their abdomen has been dug into a whole bunch. So like they're going to be at higher risk of obstructions, which could be fatal. Ischemia, which is loss of blood flow to the bowel, that's also fatal. It's not going to end there, is what I'm trying to say. And especially when you're doing it as a kid, like, and they're still probably a bunch of them are still growing too. When you compound all that, and there's probably a whole hormonal imbalance going on too. Like, it's just not a good situation for a teenager. And I don't think a lot of doctors, especially those who are doing these surgeries, understand that and realize, like, yeah, the first thing you need to do is get them to lose weight without having this. But you know, I bet you that you know, this is becoming a thing in more often in pediatrics right now.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. Yesterday I was talking about, we can talk about this because if we can talk about it again, because it looks like they're rolling back. They were going to put a black box warning on the mRNA, and now it looks like the FDA chief is backing off of it. And my point was, it really doesn't matter anyway, because nobody like this. It's true that a black box warning means that there is basically imminent danger from the item you're taking. Like there is deaths involved. There is very serious outcomes involved. It's 100% true. But they don't give a shit about that because oxycodone has had a black box warning on it forever, and they had given it to 12-year-olds. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not like, I wish that people could see that. And it's not everybody in the, I talk about this too much, I think, but it's not everybody in the industry. Obviously, I respect you. You're a doctor. I was in the healthcare industry for a while. I respected a lot of people I worked with, in a executive level function, right? So the problem is the industry in general just shouldn't be trusted. And the industry in general is a profit engine. Like, and they don't care if there's a black box warning on something. If they can prescribe it to children, they're going to. You know, like it's crazy for this, but apparently, and let me pull it up here. I have the thing.
Yeah. To me, the damage has already been done.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, and the people that are still like doubling down, tripling down, quadrupling down, I mean, I don't think we're going to change their minds. And then the people that here's the people that piss me off the most: the people that that know all this information that we're speaking of right now. They've, since the beginning, recommended this from day one since its release, and they got their first in line to get it. When those types of people who don't admit that they're wrong, that's the worst kind, because that's just a level of like narcissistic sociopathic behavior that you just like, you flat out know that you did damage to your patients, and you're just like, oh yeah, okay, whatever, like you just brush it off like it's nothing. And I'm like, the fuck is wrong with you? Like, that's ridiculous. Like the fact that they just don't admit that they're wrong, that they did some harm. But unfortunately, right now, we talked about this before. There's a lot of protections under the law that prevent them from getting any kind of legal action. But most of these doctors, I think, should lose their licenses, and then there should be other people that should be going to jail right now. But that's never going to happen, unfortunately.
No, it's not, and that's the thing. It's not going to happen. Like, when you think about everything from COVID, it's why I wrote a book, man. Like, because I'm telling you, when you think about everything that everybody that should be in jail and what they should be in jail for, it shows you that nobody's going to jail, right? Like, first of all, the federal government literally fucking paid social media entities with taxpayer money to silence taxpayers. I don't know if you guys understand that, but that's treason. That's fucking tyranny right there. That is absolutely fucking tyranny.
Yeah. I had my channels banned for 30 days. I had 2 30-day bans on both Facebook and Instagram back in 2021. So yeah, I was included in that regard, but not as bad as some of the other guys, but like I was still in that conversation.
I mean, I lost a whole fucking channel, like, I mean, 100,000 subscriber channel, and they just fucking took it. And they marked, the worst part is, dude, it's that they marked you as giving misinformation when you were right. And again, nobody paid for that shit either. Like nobody, like that is like social media entities marking you as saying something that's wrong when it is correct. Nobody's going to be fucking held accountable for that shit. Nobody. And it's insane to me that that people don't realize this. All the shit that happened, like they're now admitting they had no idea, like 6 feet just appeared out of nowhere, right? Do you realize do you realize how much that fucked up society on something that just appeared out of nowhere? Like first of all, it was completely idiotic, because anybody that knows anything about viral spread knows that viruses travel on aerosolized vapor that travel like 30 fucking meters.
Yep.
6 feet is ridiculous, Yet alone, like, now you're wearing a mask that, by the way, if you can smell through it, it's not stopping shit. Viruses travel on aerosolized vapor. Like, If you can smell through it, I got a newsflash for you. You're covered in fucking virus, like at all times, right?
Yep.
And they just it's so shown to be so much about the money. Like they were talking about putting this black box warning on, and now the FDA commissioner is like, oh, maybe not do that because donors, like that's the bullshit,
or feelings could be hurt or whatever. It's like, no, anyway. But we're gonna play that clip.
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to the black box warning, we have no plans to put that on the COVID vaccine. The Safety and Epidemiology Center within the FDA did recommend that. It was a recommendation formally put out. But some of our scientists and leadership, like Dr. Vinay Prasad, have said it may be different today than it was in the first year of COVID when the shot came out, because when you have those 2 doses 3 months apart, that's when you see the side effects go way up, like myocarditis in young people. Now that it's annual, you may not see that same prevalence, so we don't want to extrapolate findings to today if it's not transferable.
That's so fucking ass backwards. I can't not even get the fuck over it. There's no science. So like, well, since we're doing it this way, and let's just try this shit out. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, we're just gonna we don't want to extrapolate possible negative shit because that might affect our donors. So we're just going to guess that just because you guys had massive side effects with 2 doses quickly, that 1 dose, you're perfectly fine.
1 dose annually. They were trying to get that time factor in there too. And I'm like, so are you admitting that there's damage or not? Essentially.
Yeah.
They're sort of trying to weasel their way out of that conundrum that they put themselves in right at this point. But,
yes.
I mean, it's par for the course. This is partly why I don't really watch news much anymore, unless it's unless you send it to me or it's on Twitter. But
right.
Yeah, it's just after a while, I just can't anymore.
just to point out again, though, it's wild how they will you know what a black box warning should be on, ho-hos, they should be on fucking ho-hos. It's amazing to me how they're pushing this still experimental gene therapy over a fucking cold. It's a cold. The infection fatality rate at the very beginning was never we should have never done any motherfucking thing, anything. And in case you guys missed my debate on it, we had somebody just the other week that thought that they could prove a point to me, and basically it just worked down to you don't want to try to save every single human being, and I realize that natural selection is a real fucking thing. So. It's the numbers. The numbers can't even be argued with. The numbers are real, right? The numbers clearly fucking show the COVID's a cold. 0.05% infection fatality rate for people under the age of 70 in America when we're as fat as fuck as we are. That's a weak ass motherfucking virus.
Yeah.
Dude, at the very beginning of the pandemic, Mark was very convinced it was made in the lab, right? And I was like, I don't know. And he's like, what makes you don't know? I was like, I would have thought that if they would have produced something in the lab, it would have been deadlier. Because while they were trying to terrify people into thinking it was super deadly, it fucking wasn't. It absolutely was not. If you extrapolate back all the people that died from ventilators and all the people that died because we put, people that had an upper respiratory virus into nursing homes amongst elderly people. If you take all of those out of 2020, now we're down to 140,000 deaths in 2020. I'm sorry, but one more time, the healthcare industry kills 375,000 people a year. People
heart disease, strokes, also.
Yeah, and then we go to heart disease, strokes, all this shit. Yeah, there was no justification for any of it, and people are still the FDA is still we don't want people to be hesitant about taking this completely experimental vaccine that we know has killed people. I mean, what, bitch?
Yeah.
It's so fake.
It just amazes me that people are still recommending it. I still see that. I'm like, what? I can't. I don't know what. I can't help you at that point. It's I'm good. You do you, boo.
Right. I mean, it's just wild. It's crazy insane to me.
Yeah.
How ridiculous this shit gets.
Yeah. I mean, so yeah, guys. The government's not going to come in and save you. Save yourselves. Learn about what you're putting in your body. and yeah, you'll be fine. Trust me.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So what do you got going on, man?
Oh man, we're wrapping up the year, so it's been kind of busy. Just the extra stress. Obviously, people are planning family and friend time, but then trying to wrap up books for the end of the year, always stressful. And yeah, I mean, just trying to get 2026 off to a great start. Obviously, we'll allude into New Year's resolutions. I think they're complete bullshit. If you want to get something done now, if you want to lose weight, why not start now?
Absolutely.
Go do 10 push-ups or go walk a block. Start now. But what's stopping you? It's hard because especially in business, like now, like most people they want their family time, which is valid, but sometimes it can be a little tricky to get stuff done quickly. So I'm sort of wrestling with those two things at the moment. But
Right.
if you want to do improve yourself, great. But how about just start the fuck now?
Yeah. Just take super basic steps. Like, how's your sleep? How's your hydration? Like, start off with something easy, like who doesn't want to get more quality sleep? Check that out. Like, and Al and I have talked about it at length. We got some cool tools coming here soon too for you guys. Like, we're very excited about it. But the idea is like, let's start off with the basics. How much hydration are you getting in? How much hydration are you getting in before your midday? Like when you first start, people always ask me about that. And here's just a little tip for everybody, right? People wake up and then they think they're hungry and they eat their thirst. And this is just very true, right? Most people wake up and they're like, man, I'm starving. And the truth is you've never had more energy in the day than you're going to have when you first wake up. And let me explain, right? So you've just laid down in bed. Normally people take about an hour to fall asleep. So people, if you're in bed for 7 hours, like if you're sleeping for 7, you're in bed for 8. So 8 hours, you have not drank anything. You have not, anything like that. Your body has gone through perspiration and expiration. Like you lose a little bit of moisture as you breathe. You lose a little bit of moisture all the time through your skin. And your body is processing bodily waste. At the same time, your body is processing the food from the day before and creating whatever it needs to create into glucose, and it's stored in your liver and your bloodstream. So when you first wake up, you have plenty of energy. Like you have all your glucose stores are as full as they're going to be from your day before food. That's just reality, right? So, but you've lost a decent amount of fluid through expiration, perspiration, and the removal of bodily waste when you wake up and take your morning piss. So you very much are not hungry yet. You are very thirsty though. So if you start off with, 30, 40 ounces of fluid, like about a liter of fluid right at the beginning of the day, and then wait for a little bit and reassess if you're hungry, I will bet you that if you are still hungry, it'll be much less hungry. So then you've now saved yourself some calories, and you have, you can go on through your day, and you're started your hydration journey good, which means if you get enough hydration in before midday, you only have a little bit to finish up in the afternoon, and then it doesn't wake you up in the middle of the sleep. It's just building a healthy lifestyle around one or two things. Like there's different pillars of health. Like there's sleep, stress relief, hydration, your nutrition, daily activity that's repeatable, like those sorts of things that you should just pay attention to instead of all the other stuff, right? Like if you just pay attention to those, just like Alan said, you can start today. You can start today by drinking more water. Every fucking buddy can,
One thing I like to caveat with your morning hydration, which I completely agree with, I would also talk about coffee in the morning. Coffee should not be the first thing that you drink in the morning. One, its mass is something else, like you were mentioning before. But then two, coffee could be a diuretic, which means it can get you to pee even more. So it actually could dehydrate you faster and then make this problem of lack of energy because you're partially dehydrated even worse. So it could have the opposite effect, actually. So again, like Alan said, look at your hydration first thing in the morning and then reassess whether you actually need that first cup of coffee in the morning. For me, I still do, but it's just.
Oh, so do I.
Yeah, but that first cup of coffee does not need to happen the very first thing you drink.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I completely agree. Yeah. All right, folks, I'm going to be back probably later in the day because, and for those of you that have watched for a while, apparently Tyrone, the fitness addict, put out a video that everybody wants me to talk about. So I'm going to do it just for old time's sake. I'm going to do it. I'll be back at 6 p.m. Eastern time tonight, guys. I hope everybody has a great day. Until then, tell everybody where they can find you.
I'm at YouTube at Your Health Unplugged and X at unplugged_doc. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, if you will. It's a little small little decoration there. That's I did that myself.
Woo!
That's the extent of my Christmas decorations, by the way. I don't do any of the Christmas lights or anything like that because I don't have the time to do that. But anyway, yeah. Merry Christmas, enjoy the holidays, and get started on New Year's resolutions now.
Hell yeah. All right, everybody. I'll talk to you later in the day. My name's Alan Roberts. This is Alan Chen. We're Alan Squared. Goddamn.